Bloomberg Opinion senior columnist Tim O'Brien is out with a brand new column today titled "Even McConnell is Happy to See Trump Impeached," and he joins me now. Tim, it's always great to have you with us. What did it
Morning,
take
Tim.
for Republican lawmakers to break from Trump?
Apparently an insurrection and 5 deaths at the Capitol because and they still haven't fully broken from him. Remember, in the wake of the insurrection, dozens and dozens of Republican legislators voted to decertify the election. I think what's significant about what's transpired between then and now is more evidence has come out about how brutal and deadly that event was, how calculated some of the planning around it was, and certainly Trump himself fomenting all of it at the very top. And it's a seismic development, I think, that Mitch McConnell is not only saying he's happy to see Trump impeached, but quite possibly, if it goes to the Senate for a trial, he would convict him. Mitch McConnell owns the Republican caucus in the Senate. If Donald Trump has lost Mitch McConnell, then he's lost that caucus, and he's not going to be able to manage that from Mar-a-Lago. So I think a lot of this really represents Trump coming very close to his political graveyard.
It's so fascinating to see this turn from Mitch McConnell. I mean, people were rightly pointing out, I think, on Twitter yesterday that his memoir is titled "The Long Game." And it certainly seems like McConnell is taking the long-term view here. What would it mean for the Republican Party to essentially expel Trump? Does that say, hey, we want Trumpism dead. We want to move the Republican, thanks for the judges, but let's move the Republican Party in a different direction?
Thank you for the judges. Thank you for the tax cuts. Thank you for deregulation. I think those are all things conservatives have wanted out of the legislative process for a while, and they got that. The question is, was getting those things worth the social upheaval and all the damage on other important fronts that have been realized during the Trump years? And I think that's where the debate is here. And I think that culminated in the insurrection. Mitch McConnell certainly has always played the long game. He is a very cool, calculating customer about parliamentary dynamics. I think what this also represents is how deeply split in half the Republican Party is between its traditional conservative wing with small c conservative values and this new red meat breed of populist on the right side of the party. And I think McConnell and others on his side of the fence always thought they could thread this needle with Trump and around policy without having any blowups occur. And then lo and behold, some of the ugliest blowups imaginable occurred, leading to two impeachments. And I think what's going to have to happen forward is the Republicans are going to have to decide what they want to represent about conservatism in America and how they do that without Donald Trump.
Tim, you've spent years covering President Trump. Before he was President Trump, you wrote a book about Trump. How does what has happened over the last week, how does that fit with Trump's personality? And how do you see this sort of idea of no remorse and no acknowledgement for what happened fitting with the way that he's lived his life over the last 74 years?
Well, I think all of this stuff, unfortunately, was extremely predictable. I don't think you had to be a genius or even a deep student of Trump to see any of this coming. The last time he faced something like this in his life was in the early 90s, when his businesses and his personal life collapsed around him. And even back then, he went to his defaults. It wasn't his fault. Other people were out to get him. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. It's a mantra that was baked into him by his father. And you saw all of that surface again yesterday when he was on the White House lawn, when he was at Andrews Air Force Base, and when he was in Alamo, Texas, saying it again and again. The insurrection wasn't my fault. I don't care about impeachment. It's a witch hunt. I have to believe all that language did not sit well with Mitch McConnell and other people in the party, and only firmed up their desire to purge him. But Trump doesn't care. He's fortunate in that he's wealthy and a celebrity, and that's insulated him for a very long time from the consequences of his own mistakes. But he's really coming into a buzzsaw right now.
Is this time different, though, Tim? Does Trump ever recover from this? As Max Abelson pointed out yesterday on our show, people have discounted Trump throughout his entire business career, and look where he ended up, president of the United States.
I think that's completely true. He is the Energizer Bunny of American politics and the cultural and political scene. He has not come through that, though, without losing things that are very important to him. While he's claimed to be a great business mogul, he's essentially someone who was born to great wealth and pretends that he accumulated all of it on his own. He lost lots of respect and connections in the business community, to the extent now that he wanted to graduate from the White House and still be a player in Republican politics. All of that is very much in play and is probably gone now. And his business is going to suffer too. Strangely enough, a 74-year-old man may be finding out at the tail end of his years that he does have consequences for his own mistakes.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Bloomberg Opinion's Tim O'Brien. Tim, thanks for your time. I got to encourage everybody to check out Tim's latest column. It's called "Even McConnell is Happy to See Trump Impeached."
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.